Leafs fans all over Toronto, the GTA, or wherever the heck you're from, it is time. It is now time that the real deal begins for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The offseason of misery after last year's playoff failure, again, has come and gone. The preseason has come and gone. The regular season for the Toronto Maple Leafs gets started tomorrow night as they host the Montreal Canadiens at Scotiabank Arena, a full capacity Scotiabank Arena. It's going to be wild. And Leaf fans, I just want to say thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for watching my videos. And let's have a good season, please. And I'm going to come into this video like I have in the preseason preview with the thought of, is this team different? Are they better than years past? Will they make it out of the first round? Will they make the playoffs this year? Those questions will be answered over the next 82 games. Game 1 goes tomorrow. But as you know from the title, this is the season preview, and we are going to break down everything towards Toronto Maple Leafs this upcoming year, the question marks, the expectations, all that stuff. Let's start out with a little bit of an injury report, though. We all have probably heard by now that Austin Matthews is going to miss the first 3 games of the regular season. Obviously, he had the surgery in the offseason. So he will be, again, on the shelf to start the season. But as we've noticed from at least the preseason schedule, the Leafs offense is still pretty damn good without it. However, we want him back ASAP. The other side of the injury report, Ilya Mikheyev out 8 weeks. I mean, he is out giving us some long-term, at least 2 months. You say 8 weeks, it's probably going to end up being 9 or 10 weeks, but it is 8 weeks, and it's going to be a long time for Ilya Mikheyev to be returning with the Toronto Maple Leafs. But let's get off that stuff. Let's talk about the people that are here. Let's talk about the people that are going to be playing for this team tomorrow. Starting in goal is Jack Campbell. He gets the nod for Game 1 of the season, and this is going to be a question mark all season long. Campbell, Mrazek. What do you guys think is going to be happening this year with those 2 goaltenders? This video is not really about me. You know, it's about for you guys, discussions with the stuff that I'm bringing up, discussions for you guys to go crazy about. And the first one is the goaltending. The tandem we have here with Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek. Any of those 2 guys, either of those 2, they could be starting goaltenders. We saw the run Jack Campbell went on last year, and instantly he gets the shot to start the season. Rightfully so. Peter Mrazek, he's a good goaltender all around. He's been a great goaltender in this league. So he deserves a shot. So don't be surprised if it goes like 41 and 41. It won't go identical to that, but it's more or less that the rest of the season. You're going to ride the hot goalie here and there. Campbell has a terrible first game. You bet your tail Mrazek's getting in net for the next one. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about running a guy out there through the crowd. You don't have that this year. They're going to start with Jack Campbell and see where we go from there. All right? Now let's get to the stuff that has been on people's minds, including myself, for quite a while. With the departure of guys like Zach Hyman and Joe Thornton, which we're not all upset about, more or less Zach Hyman, the thought was, okay, well, what are you going to replace him with? Well, they've brought it, and obviously with Austin Matthews being on the shelf to start, and even Mitch Marner going with a collision with Simmons in practice today, he's kind of up in the air for tomorrow. So with that being the case, who's going to fill these voids? Well, the Leafs go out in the offseason. They bring in guys like Michael Amadio, Michael Bunting, Stephen Camp, I think it's Stephen Camp, Andre Kasha. They bring in Nick Ritchie. They bring in all of these guys who, they're not flashy names. They're not that sexy big name. But they're guys that are going to make an impact. They're going to be heavily... You're going to see Camp in penalty kill situations. You're going to see Nick Ritchie up against the big lines. You're going to see Michael Amadio and Michael Bunting in these grindy situations. These guys are going to be very interesting to watch all year long. Now, obviously, not all of them are going to play at the same time because the roster just doesn't fit that way. But all of those guys I just mentioned, and probably more, are going to be making impacts on this squad. Now, I don't know what the lineup is going to be like for tomorrow. But assume Richie's going to be in there. Assume Michael Bunting's going to be in there. The other three, I'm not quite too sure about. I like what Kampf brings. I think he should be in there. Will he? I'm not sure. If Mitch Marner doesn't play tomorrow, which God help us if he doesn't, expect quite a few of these guys to be ready to go. So those are guys that I'm looking at this year. These are new faces, grindy guys that this team has really lacked. You bring these type of presence into the locker room, onto the ice, it's going to make an impact. Question is, how? And we're all going to learn that tomorrow. And another question mark that I have going into this year is the defensive pairings. Well, James, what do you mean? You still have Riley, you still have Jake Muzzin, you still got, Travis Dermott. Well, that's a question mark in itself. You know, Justin Hall, Jake Muzzin, I already mentioned Muzzin, TJ Brody. Like, those are big names. You should be fine. And Travis Dermott's a giant question mark. When he was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs, the expectations were huge. Second-round pick, great numbers with the Erie Otters, good stuff. He was playing with the Toronto Marlies, looks fantastic. Gets a shot with the Leafs. Has a pretty decent first, half a year or whatever he played in the NHL. But never really took that next step. Is he trade bait? Is he going to be one of those 6 guys because you need him? Or are guys like Rasmus Sandin and Timothy Liljegren, who are also guys that you're looking and waiting on to take that next step? Now, obviously, they're younger and much less experienced than Travis Dermott is. But are they at that point that they are like, all right, it's time to give you a shot. Let's go. I think Sandin is a lock. I truly believe in that. Because with losing Zach Bogosian last year, you need a guy. And they're going to need Rasmus Sandin to make it happen. Now, is Timothy Liljegren ready to go? I just don't know yet. I just don't know if it translates to the NHL game as of yet. Now, preseason is preseason. He must be okay since he's still around right now. But they might give him a shot the right way to start the year. But if that's the case, what do you do with Travis Dermott then? So there's a lot of question marks on the lower end of the back end for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that part, because that's something I'm not too sure about. Rasmus Sandin seems like a lock. Dermott seems like a lock. So what do you do with him as a Liljegren? You're not going to keep him in the press box the entire year. If Travis Dermott hasn't been that great, maybe you swap those guys once in a while. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out. Let me know what you guys think. And lastly, my expectations. Even though we are in this Atlantic Division now, we're back to normal here. With teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Florida Panthers, the Boston Bruins, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Ottawa Senators are going to be much better this year. And then there's us. Those are 6 teams vying for 3 divisional spots. I think no doubt, the Toronto Maple Leafs should be in one of those 3 spots. They have a great team. I don't care what... people are saying, well, they're crap in the playoffs. I get that. But in the regular season, they've done phenomenal. So making the playoffs in those 3, it shouldn't be a question mark. Now, obviously, Florida's really good. Tampa's I don't care that they lost today against Pittsburgh. They're a great team. The Bruins, they're always going to be around. Montreal's a question mark, obviously, with no Shea Weber and no Carey Price to start. No Shea Weber for the entire year. No Carey Price to start the year. Giant question marks with that team, but you never know. And Ottawa, as I mentioned, they're going to be a better squad, but they're not going to be a playoff team, in my opinion. I think they're just going to be out of it. So if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you got to make it happen. Now, as we learned with the Toronto Blue Jays, you cannot put yourself in a hole early. This team has to start winning games right away, banking W's, and then make it happen. They had a great preseason. I believe they were like 5-1 in the preseason. You got to come out of the gate like that. You're going to play a lot of teams you haven't seen in quite a while, though. You start there with Montreal. You're quite familiar with those guys. But then when you start facing teams like the Boston Bruins and the Columbus Blue Jackets and teams you haven't seen, it's going to take some adjusting. Same for the other teams against us, though. So it's going to be a really weird season for at least to start the year. But the guy's going to buzz. I think they're going to make the playoffs because the regular season they've never shown the inability to play well in the regular season. I think they're going to make the playoffs. My positive mindset, which is leering very thin, I'm baffled it's still around with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they're going to win a playoff round this year. But they got to get there. right? So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll wrap this video up here, right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you guys are jacked up to watch meaningful Leafs hockey starting tomorrow, smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment down below. Thoughts on the video. Thoughts on the game. No, there's no game today. Thoughts on the video and what anything I missed that you guys are looking forward to this season, let me know in the comments below. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, like great stuff. The Instagram link is down below as well. So follow up there if you have not done so already, guys. And I will talk to you Raptors edition October 20th. Well, probably earlier than that in the season preview. But October 20th, the Raptors taking the Wizards at Scotiabank Arena, 7:30 tip-off there in Game 1 of 82 for their schedule. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, though, they start tomorrow, 7 p.m. puck drop, Scotiabank Arena, Leafs, Habs. Let's get this thing underway here. Game 1 of 82 for the Leafs. Let's get 2 points and start the season strong, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.